If you're a Zelda fan, we're eating good. We just got some great news. They just announced the actors that are gonna be playing Zelda and Link in the live action Zelda movie that's coming out in 2027. There's been a lot of speculation, fan casts, and stuff like that, but they just dropped the article not too long ago. I'm going to be reading it to you guys. It's from IGN. The article goes on to say, Nintendo has announced the actors set to portray Link and Zelda in its upcoming live-action The Legend of Zelda film. But who are Bragason and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth? Unlike the casting of Chris Pratt as Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Nintendo has chosen a pair of relatively unknown actors to fill its next set of iconic roles. Perhaps that's for the best, considering the initially mixed reaction to Pratt's announcement, but it's also likely out of necessity, as Link and Zelda are traditionally portrayed as younger characters, and indeed, Ainsworth has landed his role as the series protagonist while aged just 16, so he's pretty young. All that said, both Ainsworth and Bragason are far from amateurs, and both already have several notable roles under their belts. For Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, he's Link. He's from Yorkshire in Northern England, received his first acting credit in the long-running TV soap Emmerdale, aged just 10. His first major role was in Netflix's 2020 horror miniseries The Haunting of Bly Manor, where he played main character Miles Wingrave, one of the creepy children from Victoria Peretti's characters that looks after. In 2022, Ainsworth voiced the main role of Pinocchio in Disney's live-action remake of its classic animated film. More recently, he starred in Canadian comedy series Son of a Critch, a 1980s set coming-of-age story that charts Ainsworth's main character through his early teens. Most recently, Ainsworth starred opposite Bryan Cranston and Allison Janney in the comedy drama indie film Everything's Going to Be Great, which received a limited release in theaters last month. Next up, we have Zelda's actress Bragason. She's Nintendo's pick to play Zelda. She's also British, born in Chichester in 2004. Bragason spent parts of her childhood in France and technically first appeared on screen as a toddler in a French film, L'Amour Caché, I hope I pronounced that right, opposite Inglourious Basterds star Melanie Laurent. Later in 2007, Bragason got her big screen brush with the world of video games, providing motion capture for young Luna in Square Enix's CGI movie Kingsglaive Final Fantasy. Bragason's breakout roles both came in 2024 when she played the younger sister of Renegade Nell in Netflix's fantasy drama of the same name, and the scene-stealing Amy Knightley in BBC murder mystery miniseries The Jetty. Her character there, a drink-swilling rebellious teen, is likely as far away from the portrayal of Zelda as we're likely to see, though both characters do share some of her fondness for horses. With Nintendo's two main roles filmed, attention now turns to who else might star in the live-action The Legend of Zelda film. The franchise's key role of Ganon seems almost guaranteed to appear, and we wouldn't be surprised to see other recurring characters such as Impa turn up too. Could Jack Black return in yet another video game adaptation, this time as Ganon? While a more veteran actor might be likely in the role to give the film some added star power, past comments from the project's director Wes Ball suggest he's not looking for someone who can pull off yet another comedy musical number. Discussing the film in May 2024, Ball said, "The Legend of Zelda should feel grounded and real, with as little motion capture as possible, despite his previous works on CGI-heavy Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes." With less than 2 years to go until The Legend of Zelda opens in theaters, Nintendo is still yet to say anything of the film's story or setting. Could this movie be an adaptation of an existing game, such as the series' biggest hit, Nintendo Switch title The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, now relaunched for the Switch 2? Or will the film tell an original tale as original as Zelda storylines ever get? Today's casting news provided our first look at both Ainsworth and Bragason wearing clothes akin to costumes for their roles, the former in a green tunic and the latter in a blue dress reminiscent of Zelda's attire in Breath of the Wild. Though it's likely we're not seeing their final appearances. For one thing, Ainsworth has dark hair, and another, neither actor appears to have Hylian ears. Still, some fans believe today's announcement suggests the start of filming is now not far away, with Nintendo potentially getting ahead of any on-set leaks. Here's to hoping we get more news and a confirmation of Tingle soon. That's pretty much the article, guys. Super crazy. I'm super stoked for this casting. I honestly am super glad that they went with some relatively like new younger actors, just because, you know, if they had cast Tom Holland in as Link, you know, like they said they were, you know, that would have been crazy. Dude's in everything. That's Spider-Man. Nobody would have seen him as anything other than Spider-Man. Same for Hunter Schafer as Zelda. That was a cool fan cast, but I'm glad that they went, you know, again, with relatively unknown actors, just because, one, they're younger, so if they do make this a series and they keep them as Zelda and Link going forward, there's room for them to grow as well. They can tell different stories with these characters, you know, starting off, you know, maybe when they're younger, like this movie will be, and then, you know, years later when they make a sequel or something, they can age them up, you know, tell some adult timeline stories, things like that. So I think it's really cool that they're going in this direction. I also think that, you know, Wes, the director, his vision is really good for grounded and kind of like realistic, just because, you know, the more actual like props and set items they use as opposed to CGI, I feel like the more realistic it's gonna feel watching this movie. And I know a lot of us Zelda fans, we're super excited. We want to see something, you know, we want to see this done right. We want it to be given the justice it deserves. We don't want it to be like a shitty live action movie that's just gonna flop and it's just gonna be like, oh, okay, they just ruined it. You know, like the live action Dragon Ball Evolution film. I don't know if you guys remember that train wreck of a movie, but we do not want that. We want an actual, you know, good The Legend of Zelda movie, and I think we're headed in the right direction. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your takes on the castings. Do you think they hit it out of the park with this one? Do you think they could have gotten somebody better for Zelda, for Link? What do you guys think? And or do you guys hope they adapt a game-specific story, you know, like Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess? Or are you hoping for an original Legend of Zelda story and adventure, you know, that just kind of like gives us a new view on these two characters in the world of Hyrule? But I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Ben Kai. If you want more news and updates like this, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and again, comment down below what your favorite Zelda game is and if you're excited for this movie coming out in 2027. Later.